Welcome back to Inside the Vandals. Katie McCurchin had two stellar performances in the Vandals' back-to-back wins this weekend. McCurchin came off the bench and tallied 24 points in the two contests. Time and time again, it's his emotion and energy that sets him apart. But where does that fire come from? We now take a look beyond the arc.
Katie McCurchin took an unconventional route to Idaho. Born in Turkmenistan, the freshman began his athletic career off the court. And if it wasn't for his mother, the 6'7" forward might be punching and kicking instead of playing for the Vandals.
My dad used to be a national coach for judo, and I used to do judo till like I was 10. And my mom decided it was too dangerous, and she took me out.
Having no high school basketball programs in Russia, McCurchin played club basketball in his younger years until moving to Hawaii so that he and his two brothers could play basketball.
I just moved basically to basketball because I want to play in college. I want to go to college for free because I saw the opportunity. I can grow, I can get better, and get someday I can make money out of it.
After 1 year in Hawaii, Ark made the move again, this time to Portland, where he attended Columbia Christian and won his league's MVP as a senior. And the offers began to pour in.
I had offers from WSU, Oregon State, Weber State, Portland State, University of Portland, Stony Brook University.
But it was Idaho who caught the attention of Ark.
I love the coaches. I like the atmosphere between teammates. All the teammates, they're like the same family, and my family's not here, they're in Russia. And I felt like it would be the best place for me to grow and be part of this big family and be the best I can be.
Ark's personality on the floor has earned him a nickname from assistant coach Milt Palacio.
Sometimes he fouls a little too much, and we all on the bench, we joke around, say he plays jungle ball, so we call him Tarzan a little bit. He'll start laughing if you ask him about Tarzan. On the court, he's very aggressive, and that's one thing you can tell. It's his Russian nature, and I always tell him that. Russians, when I play with them, they're not going to back down from anybody, and that's just how he plays, and that's just the way he goes out there and plays. Now, does he do it a little bit too much sometimes? Yeah, but it's good to have a freshman kid like that that's very aggressive.
Though he's aggressive on the court, Palacio says he's quite the opposite off it.
It's the Russian in him, but I think that's just his comfort zone. I think that's just. It's a lot of guys. I saw guys like that before, and I used to tell him, he reminds me of Carlos Boozer, because Boozer was the same exact way, off the floor, the nicest guy, soft-spoken, but then on the floor, he's an animal. He'll scream at you, yell at you, and fight. So, yeah, that's just his, I think that's just his, where he can be himself on the floor. That's what he is.
Ark has been able to make an immediate impact this season as he's averaging 8 points per game. With 6 games left in the regular season, Ark will look to guide the Vandals into the Big Sky Conference tournament. With Inside the Vandals, I'm Sarah Jacobson.
Hey, thanks, Sarah, for that piece right there on Ark. Coach, what has Ark done for your team this season?
Well, he's really fun to coach. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of excitement when he plays. He plays with a little chip on his shoulder, and I really like that. And that's what he does for us, is he brings a lot of energy off the bench, and he brings a presence around the basket for us.
Yeah, he seems very physical down low. Is that just a part of his personality as a player?
Yeah, it is. And when he was growing up, he was a judo guy. His dad was a national judo coach for Russia, and so he's got a little nastiness to him, a little bit of physicality to him, and I think he brings that to the basketball court. And he's obviously got good size. He's a big, strong kid, and as he's settled in, getting through his freshman year here, he's been getting more and more aggressive as the games have gone on.
Earlier in the season, I think the first 5 or so games, he was actually starting. What made the decision to go ahead and bring him off the bench?
He kind of hit the freshman wall a little bit and struggled a little bit there for a period of time. I wanted to take the pressure off him, allow him to kind of watch the game and let it get going, and then come in and impact the game. And I think he's done a great job of making that adjustment. He probably should be starting right now with the way he's playing, but I don't want to change anything at this point. Paul Mapaway's been playing good at that spot. Sek's been playing good. They're upperclassmen. So, but I really like the way Ark is playing, and he's getting better every day.
Is it almost nice sometimes to know you have that extra spark to come in and give your guys a rest off the bench?
Yeah, no question, and especially a guy as good as Ark who's scoring the ball so well around the basket. There'll be a side of his game next year we bring out where he can shoot the ball from the perimeter. He made a 3 the other night. He's actually a very good shooter. He just hasn't quite got settled in enough to shoot a bunch of threes this year.
Well, back on the road for you guys, Northern Arizona and Southern Utah Utah up next. First, though, what does this team need to do to keep the win streak going?
Well, there's two different games there. Northern Arizona is a very good basketball team. They're 8-4 in conference play right now. They've only lost one game at home. They've got 3 really good guards. It really goes with their guards. They can shoot it from beyond the arc. They can drive it. They're big. They're physical. That's going to be our challenge in that game. And Northern Arizona is the best rebounding team in our conference. So we're really going to have to go down to Flagstaff and play well. Again, we're probably going to have a good defensive effort, and we're really going to have to rebound our basketball to get it done in Flagstaff on Thursday.
With pulling down the rebounds, is it more long rebounds that are coming out to them, or do they just attack the glass?
No, they've got 2 big guys that really can attack the glass, athletic, really get to the rim, off missed field goals. Their guards penetrate a lot, forces you to help, which makes it hard to block off. So those things are really the important things. But we got to do a good job, first of all, perimeter defensively, and then we got to do a good job of owning the paint, and that's what we've been stressing on in practice this week.
And then how about Southern Utah?
Southern Utah is a much improved team. They went on the road last weekend and won at Weber, and they won at Idaho State. They're playing really good basketball. Nick's done a good job. They're really physical. They're big and they're physical, and they play really solid basketball, and that's what's allowed them to win the games, the last few games, especially last weekend.
As far as road trips go, this is a pretty long trip, or is it pretty normal as far as travel goes?
It's a long trip for the Big Sky. It's not a long trip for the WAC, what we did last year, so we're not, that really doesn't bother us. What we got to make sure we're doing is be prepared to play. We got to deal with the altitude a little bit, so I've got to probably sub a little differently, and that'll play into the game. But we have good depth. So what we got to make sure we do is we're ready to go and understand that we got to fight in both games. And it's obviously a big road trip with 6 to play. We got 4 on the road. We got to find a way to eke out a few road wins here before the conference tournament.
When you look at the standings, I'm sure you as coaches pay more attention to this, and you see Northern Arizona just a couple games ahead of where you guys are. Do you see this as a pretty key matchup down the stretch?
Yeah, it's a big matchup because we only play them once.
Right.
There are 2 games up on us in the standings right now, but we've been working like crazy as coaches because we're 12 games into the league and we haven't played them yet. Them or Southern Utah. So we've really had to work extra this week to get ready for a team that we haven't seen a lot. And what we're trying to do as coaches is get inside of them, figure out how they go about their business. And that's a big part for our basketball team and for the wins this week is we got to make sure we're prepared.
How much would you say this team has grown from when conference began until now?
Oh, tremendously. We're getting better. We're starting to figure out how to play. We're getting some guys some seasoned Division I minutes, and I think that's really important as you move along. But we're getting a lot better. We've been a lot better defensively than we were early in the year, and now our offense is starting to execute pretty well. We've been really moving the ball well lately. You look at our offensive percentages over the last few games; they've been phenomenal.
He's Vandals head coach Don Verlin. Coach, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break here on Inside the Vandals, but when we're back, we'll hear from women's basketball as they're coming off a road trip of their own. We're back after this.